I'm going to show you an insane XP glitch in Black Ops 6 after the patch on November 14th. So Season 1, we have an XP glitch that is insane. This is actually crazy. With this new combination of glitches, you'll be able to not only farm XP faster than any other way, you'll be able to do it while like semi-AFK. Depending on which way you want to do it, you can almost go AFK, but eventually you'll have to move around some every little bit in order to not get kicked. But it is insanely fast. So to do this glitch, we're going to need three main things. You're going to need to equip the Sigma 2B, you're going to need the Ether Shroud, and you're going to need the Free Fire Gobblegum. Now, if you don't have a Free Fire Gobblegum, you're going to have to just play normally till you get it. And if you're on controller, it's going to be borderline impossible to do this without a keyboard. It's going to warn you ahead of time. I mean, it definitely is possible. Very, very hard to do. But if you have a mouse, there's a trick we can use to make it very, very consistent. Not super consistent. You can still accidentally waste a free fire trying to get it, but it makes it way more likely to happen. And the last thing we need is, because the Ether Shroud is not good enough, you also have to get an augment for it. So while you're at it, you need to get the Ether Shroud augments for Burst Dash. That's the one you need. And since on the way you can get extra charge, you definitely want to equip that as the minor augment as well. If you don't know, you just click one of these to equip it, go play zombies normally, and you unlock them. Now, I highly recommend also researching Turtle Shell on the Juggernog Perca-Cola, or else you could definitely go down every once in a while just by like unluckiness or some stupid crap happening. So if you get that, it makes it 1,000 times better. Not required, but definitely something you want to be working towards if you do this more than once. So the first part of this glitch we can do on either map, but the second part we can only do on Liberty Falls. So for this particular video, we're going to be doing this one on Liberty Falls. So what you're going to do is play normally, in every round you're going to go to one of the gobblegum machines and you're going to get a gobblegum. Now, if you get to like wave 10 or 20 and you still haven't gotten your free fire gobblegum, you could always just leave and start a new one, however you want to do it. But the thing is that you need to get the free fire gobblegum. Now, you can actually do this with up to 3 gobblegums at a time. In this case, we're just going to use one, but you would literally just pop all of them. And on the last one, you would do what I'm going to show you here. So what you do, though, is whichever gobblegum you want, the last one you use, okay, when you use it, you're going to, right after you use it, you're going to pause the game. And then you're going to unpause and pause the game over and over again until you see this bubble appear in front of you as if your person's blowing a bubble. As soon as that appears on the screen during one of the pauses, then go ahead and save and quit. So obviously this will quit you out. Then you go ahead and you load the save file. And now the glitch is like armed, basically. It's prepped, okay? When you come back in, it'll tell you that the gobblegum has been activated at the top right. It should come back in and you'll have, you know, it'll be working and all that. But now when that timer goes down, it's going to be the same thing as the old gobblegum glitch, but the window of timing is maybe tighter than it was before. I'm not really sure, but it's kind of a bitch, okay, to try to get this timing. That's why if you're on a controller, it's going to be really hard. But there's a trick if you're on mouse and keyboard that makes it not hard, like, at all. So if you're on mouse and keyboard, go to the settings and go to keyboard and mouse. Go to the keybinds up here. And go down until you see the Combat Advanced keybinds. You're going to go to that, and under Equipment, you're going to have the Gobblegum slots. So whichever slot it is that you currently have the one on, by the first one's on slot 4 or number 4, usually the default key. So it's slot 1. That's normally the first one. So if you're just doing one, it should be on that one. Unless you have other ones, you got to make sure you got to know which one in your inventory. It'll show you when you're in game, and the numbers on the right. Anyway, okay, once you know which one it is, you're going to go to the second keybind on it, and you're going to bind it to scroll wheel, okay? Either scroll wheel up or scroll wheel down. I find scroll wheeling down is easier. And that allows it so that you can actually, in my case here, if I have 4 and I have scroll wheel down, I can be scroll wheeling down as fast as I can while also pressing 4 as fast as I can with my other hand. Once you have those bound like that, then what you can do is right as the gobblegum's about to expire, like it has just like 1 or 2 seconds left, you're going to start scroll wheeling as fast as you can and spamming the button for it at the same time as fast as you can. You're just going to be doing it as fast as possible, scrolling, pressing, scrolling, pressing, as fast as you can. And if you're lucky and you get it right, then what will happen is it will do the old gobblegum glitch and you'll pop the gobblegum and then it will activate free fire forever, unless you save and quit or leave the match, obviously. But for the rest of this match, as long as you don't interrupt it, then you'll have free fire, which allows you to fire infinitely without reloading and not having to get more ammo. You can just go forever. Now that we have the Sigma, we can just sit here and just, you just shoot it forever. You can just ADS and just shoot as fast as possible. So that's totally broken. But then also what's insane about the Sigma, and maybe the other one does the same thing, I haven't even checked, but for the Sigma, when you upgrade it with Pack-a-Punch, it does two things. One is it makes it full auto. You can just hold down ADS and hold down fire, and it will just fire non-stop instead of semi-auto where you have to spam click or spam trigger if you're on controller. What's even more insane is that there's no longer recoil. So because of that, you can look down at the ground and it won't slowly have you look up at the sky. It'll just leave you right where you're at, which makes this next part really insanely good. Which, by the way, is now as good a time as any to add that you're probably going to want to get the PhD flopper. Do not forget to get that, or you'll instantly die when you shoot at the ground like this. So what you're going to do is you're going to use that Ether Shroud. We're going to go back to there's two different ways to do it. There's one you can go through a door, but I just have trouble having that be consistent. The most consistent one for me is go back to the start of the map, and there's the gate. Make sure you do not unlock that gate ever during this. And what you're going to do is you're going to jump off the ledge and turn to the right and use Ether Shroud, and it'll teleport you up behind the door for the zip line. And then you're going to immediately want to get on the zip line and then go over to the other side. It's technically called the Alamo, but the side in the middle of the map where you're on top of a roof. And again, you're not going to open the gate. But now you're behind the gate. Make sure you open up the path that goes to the church, or else it'll kill you when you're back here, by the way. But now you're behind the gate. And now you can just sit back here. And if you have turtle armor, turtle shell or whatever, you can just look down at the ground with your back facing the entrance where they come in from, and just shoot at the ground full speed. And since you have Pack-a-Punch, it won't slowly make you look at the sky. And you can literally just look down at your feet while going. You want to be prone so the manglers don't shoot you and knock you off the ledge. And you just want to look down and shoot. Now, the only issue with this spot is abominations can get in here, I guess. They used to not, and I think after the patch they changed something, which is, I don't know how they did it, but ever since the patch, abominations just walk in here. So for the earlier waves, they're not a problem. Later waves, they'll be really annoying, and they'll come in your family and just knock you off or get you trapped or something. So make sure you stay kind of near the edge so the abomination can't trap you in here, because that could be bad, because you can get an AFK timer for not moving for too long. So you just sit here, you sit here and you hold down the fire button and you don't have to move. You just sit here and you just wait and you get insane XP. But after a certain number of minutes, it'll warn you about inactivity. In order to fix it, you literally just have to run back and forth, and here you just got to move a certain amount of distance, and then it'll get rid of it. But you just, if the abomination has you trapped, well, then you kind of got a problem there. But anyway, it's better to fall off than to get trapped by the abomination. Always just be kind of towards the edge somewhere, and that way you just don't get trapped. So two more big things. You're going to want to drop off and go upgrade your weapons upgrade the Sigma every now and then. Eventually, you want to get it to, legendary with Pack-a-Punch. Obviously, you can't get it to legendary without getting the salvage. So maybe at first, you could just, find some other spot and kill them and get it. Or as long as you're far enough out by the ledge, some of it will be inside by the entrance of the zip line, and you could, slowly get it. It's whichever way. And if you don't have to get it to legendary, but you definitely want Pack-a-Punch level 3. Now, the other big thing is that you can go to your keybinds, and this also applies if you're able to get this far with the controller, okay, which is good luck even getting this far, but it's possible. It's definitely physically possible. What you can do is you can just go to your normal keybinds, and I don't know how it works for a controller. I don't know if you can just change individual keybinds. I have to look in a sec, but real quick for the mouse, you can just go to your combat keybinds, and what you can do is you can set it so your fire weapon and aim down sight are buttons on the keyboard, and then you can do the old classic thing of just lay something heavy on some keys on your keyboard. And so for me, what works, I have the numpad on the keyboard, but you can do a similar thing with other keys. If I do the minus and the asterisk over on the numpad, it fits just perfectly where I can just take a water bottle and I can just set it on those keys, and then I can literally just go AFK. I just have to keep an eye on it, because every 3 to 4 minutes it'll warn me out inactivity, and I gotta take the water bottle off and then move around some and then lay back down and keep doing it. And also, I looked at the controller just now, and you can rebind them, so it's in controller and button layout, and you could, if you needed, if I don't know, this is so cheese, but if you had something that you figured you could lay on the X and the Y or the triangle square or whatever, depending on what type of controller you're using. But the triggers are, you don't have any way to do, whichever way, if you need a different button for this to hold it down with some object, then, you could rebind it, but man, that'll mess you up when you try to get up and move around. But that's an option for sure if you want to do it with the controller. But after all that, you're good to go. And that's the glitch, guys. So you can just sit there and AFK farm XP behind the door. And whenever you need to get back up, you just drop down and go back to that first area where you start, and use the Ether Shroud to teleport behind the zip line and zip line across. You can Ether Shroud by holding backwards at the gate and using it, but I hate doing it because for some reason I just can't get it to work. Sometimes, other times I can. Like I did it 3 times in a row, and then I failed to do it 12 times in a row, and I was getting really pissed off. So I was like, you know what, it's more consistent. Just go back to the starting area and just jump around the corner and get on that way. But yeah, guys, if you needed a great way to level up your character or something, you're trying to prestige and get to the final prestige, or maybe the battle pass and something like that. I don't know if battle pass works with this, but I've just come out today. But if you just need XP, or you need to farm gobblegums or something like that, this glitch is it, guys. It is so broken, OP, and this works solo. This is an insane solo glitch. So if you were needing a great solo XP farming glitch from zombies, now you know how to do the best one right now after patch in Black Ops 6.